What is going on, everybody? Chris Lawrence, 420. And yes, I'm going to continue to say that over and over and over and over and over like a broken record. And this is our Hell in a Cell predictions video. We got Jake DeMarco here from
What's going on, guys?
JCS. And we got Mike being a sucker, trying to open up something for his kid over there.
Open up a sucker.
Open up something for little Berlin over there.
Little Berlin.
How you doing today, Mike? Are you doing pretty good?
I'm good, man. How's it? How y'all?
Doing well. Getting ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
I see the sign now. Happy
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
It's a little backwards, but it works.
No, literally, I was sitting, not to start this off, maybe a Hell in a Cell spooky story, but no, I was in the living room, and I swear to God, like, I heard this big ass noise, and I was like, what the fuck? Something just flew into the window. And then, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go outside. So I'm looking outside, and my brother comes in. My brother's like, what are you doing? And I was like, something bashed into the window, and he goes, nah, dude. He's like, the pumpkin that's on the window just fell. So we have one of those pumpkins like that stick up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the cling type
turn on
ones.
the light or whatever. Yeah, and I didn't even realize that. That's just
So
how I
last
go, I
night,
guess.
I went outside. It was late. I was taking out the trash. It was like close to midnight, cleaning up from my Halloween party. And I go outside, and there's a station wagon. They don't have their lights on. They have like the orange parking lights on. They're driving down the street really slow. They pull over in front of my house. They go ahead, and it's 4 people all dressed in like creepy clown costumes, and they basically pull like a Chinese fire drill where like the person in the back gets in the front,
And
and
then
the
runs
front get in the
around.
back, and then they got back in the car, just kind of looked at me like this, and then drove away slowly. I was like,
All right,
I'm going in the
creepers.
house now. Like,
That's funny.
it was just very random.
I think it's awesome that all these stores are not selling the shit. At least the ones around here. Like when we went up there, I was like, "Where?" I'm like, "You guys don't have any clown stuff out?" And they're like, "No, we just don't even want to take that chance to be one of the states that's known for." And I was like, I see that. I
Yeah.
can see that." But today we're on here to talk about our Hell in a Cell predictions and the match card itself. Um.
I give this pay-per-view a 0 out of 10 already.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I concur.
I am not looking forward to this. Sounds like your son's not either. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I'm not either. Yeah.
a lot of the fans I spoke to on Twitter. Scott and I were talking before. He's like, "Oh, you're doing the show with Chris?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Did you bury it yet?" I said, "Well, it is a Halloween show, so it's fitting to bury this pay-per-view.
Yeah, right.
Bury it alive." Yeah, no, seriously.
Hell in a Cell, buried alive before it even happens.
Exactly. Many of the good things that we were looking forward to, even 3-4 weeks out, from the pay-per-view,
Yep.
now have just kind of fizzled, dwindled, and become afterthoughts. Like
Yep.
I'm not that excited about the cruiserweight title match or the 6-man cruiserweight tag match. Things like that. Things that we really had any type of story building to. Charlotte
I'm not
and
excited.
Sasha.
Yeah.
We've seen it so many times. I know they'll put on a great performance.
Oh, yeah.
I know once we get into the match, it should be good, especially if it does go on last. But I don't know. So we'll get into the card and
Yeah,
let you
I'm
start.
not excited about any of the Hell in a Cell matches at all.
I'm not, and I don't. I love Hell in a Cell matches, but I don't like it as a pay-per-view, and especially that there's 3 in a row. It basically limits what they can do inside the cell. You figure they can't destroy it for the first 2 matches. They can't go on the outside. They can't, do anything spectacular because they still need it assembled and in one piece for the 3rd match. So whoever has
Yeah.
the main event really has a chance to go all out.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I guess I totally agree. I've always hated the idea of the pay-per-view name, and I've always just loved the match, just to be able to throw it in
Put it
there
up.
or make it fall down on somebody during something, or whatever it is. Like that's something I've always enjoyed. But
hmm
I don't have the
Absolutely.
card. I don't have the actual card listing.
I have it
Does
right
show?
here, so I
All right,
am.
well, let's go ahead and
perfectly
hit it,
prepared.
brother.
All right, so we have Alexander, Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Nice, Gulak, and Daivari. So it'll be the cruiserweight 6-man tag match, and I think Team Sin Cara is going to go over Nice, Gulak, and Daivari.
What's this going to be, another 3-minute match like on Raw?
I think it's going to be very short. I give it, even, on the pay-per-view scale, time-wise, I think it'll only be given 6 minutes max. Most of it'll just be the intros and Sin Cara botching, jumping over the ropes, If that's not on the pre-show, which I don't know, I don't have a listing of what the pre-show match will be, but if for some reason that's not on the pre-show, then I think that'll open up the night.
Yeah. I would have to go with I'm gonna be I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna go with Tony Nese's team. I think Tony Nese is gonna come up with the win tonight, or tonight, Sunday.
Yeah. All right. So then you're going against my prediction. So you're going with Tony Nese as well. Yeah, I think Team Sin Cara, Cedric Alexander, and Dorado will end up winning, but I'm glad we're not all agreeing.
Oh, I know. Unlike last time where Jake picks all picks all of it, and then everybody else is wrong. Because I have to admit, like, out of JD, Joe, our show, I think we were all kind of off on that, but you were the one that pretty much called it. I mean, down to, like, I don't even know. Did you call it down to the spot even too?
Yeah. I was 10 for 10 that night. So as far as this night going, it might not open the show because back in 2009, the inaugural Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, they had 3 Hell in a Cell matches, and this hasn't happened, since that original pay-per-view back in 2009. And they had 7 matches that night, and the way they did the 3 Hell in a Cell matches was they had the first, the 4th, and the 7 match be Hell in a Cell matches. So if we do that again, then because that was like DX versus Legacy, it was those matches. So the actual. So we had, we had Undertaker and CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
We had Randy Orton against John Cena, and then we had DX versus Legacy. So the actual opening was Undertaker and CM Punk.
And that pay-per-view kind of also felt like it dragged on a little bit, didn't it? I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but I remember watching it going, I was like, oh man, this kind of, I don't know. I was kind of like one of those people that was like, I went into it thinking that the Punk and Undertaker match was going to be fantastic. And then it was 10
John
minutes.
Cena, it was super quick, and that match was over. And CM Punk.
Yeah, we're seeing Undertaker in an opening match like that for one.
Yeah, I know. So if they follow the same suit as 2009, then it'll open with a Hell in a Cell match. And I think if it does go that way, my guess is that the opening's going to be Roman Reigns versus Rusev.
Oh God, again.
So I don't know if you guys want to start there for the next prediction.
For Roman Reigns versus Rusev? Yeah. I mean, something that I'm not really emotionally invested in.
Honestly,
but,
I don't care.
I would have to say if I'm going for a winner of this match, I think Roman's going to win this one also. He's got that... I mean, so far he's on a Hell in a Cell streak, ain't he? I mean, he's beating Wyatt and... I can definitely see him going over in this match. And then where they go from there, I don't know. I mean, I like to see someone else involved in the U.S. title picture, but I mean, who is that person? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Rusev really needs a new feud, and so does Roman. But like you said, where do they go from here? Who's currently in the mid card that could could fit that role? I was trying to think.
Unless they want to try to like mix it up a little bit and do something with. I mean, that's just so
I'm
funny.
I'm kind of at a loss as to who they could put in there. Possibly if the New Day does lose at Hell in a Cell, maybe they can have like Big E start going if they really decide to split them up. But I don't think they're going to be split up anytime soon with the way their merch sales are going.
Yeah, I don't see them splitting them up at all, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just. The real reason they still have the belts, don't you?
What's that?
Demolition's in a lawsuit with WWE right now.
I thought you could say all that booty.
they're basically keeping the belts on them to give Demolition a big fuck you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
And that's pretty much the out and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Speculation.
I think Roman's gonna win. I think Roman's definitely gonna go ahead. He'll defeat Rusev. It won't be a fantastic match. It'll be okay. It'll suffice for what it is, being a United States Championship match.
Yeah, because this is what, the 25th time now.
Pretty much. And that's my problem. I'm tired of seeing the same two talents face each other, and this night pretty much screams that over and over. It's essentially all rematches. I don't think we have one fresh match here that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, Owens and Rollins, Banks and Charlotte, Cesaro and Sheamus against the New Day, Bayley and Dana Brooke, Enzo and Cass against the Club. It's everything that we've seen, and I think that's the problem with the Raw roster all in all right now, is the fact that we originally thought they had the better set of talent, especially with the CWC coming, to a close and them getting the cruiserweights. And as it progressed, it ended up being SmackDown that seemed to have a bit more diversity and a better tag division.
SmackDown has a smaller roster, but they're utilizing it better.
Exactly. You see a good amount of change up on SmackDown, and that's one of the things the Raw card is really having a problem with. So far we covered the 6-man tag match and Roman versus Rusev. You guys didn't agree that Sin Cara would win. I think Sin Cara is going to take it, but we all agreed that Roman Reigns will defeat Rusev and retain the title. So,
in a very boring Hell in a Cell match.
Absolutely. I think it's just going to be. They're not going to utilize the cell at all. I don't think there'll be really any weapons. Maybe they'll use like the steel stairs, possibly. But we won't see anything besides that.
Yeah, there'll be the steel steps, and there might be a table. Somebody will pull a table out from underneath it, and Rusev will.
They might use a kendo stick or something like that.
Yeah, come up with some type of spear spot where he could spear him through it.
God, I'm so sick of seeing Roman Reigns spear.
Yeah, unless they bring a table into the ring and spear him through it, and even that is like meh. So, all right, next up we have Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
How you doing?
How you doing? I can definitely vouch and vie for why each of these two teams should win. Mm-hmm. I was thoroughly shocked that Enzo and Cass had a win the other day, even though it was in singles competition. Still, that shocked the hell out of me. I mean, they never get the upper hand on anybody. Since they debuted after WrestleMania, I don't think they've won anything notable since. I'm pretty sure they've lost every pay-per-view match they've had, and they've lost every title opportunity as well.
Like I said, Jake, it's like people talk about Machine Gun Kelly, and I said it's more like BB Gun Kelly or something. I just thought that was funny. I was like, man, like that is so true, especially when you look at some of the stuff they were doing in New Japan. Like to me, I think a lot of that also has to do with that that Vince maybe just don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of people in that position that just don't know the product. You know what I mean? Maybe Triple H does.
Yeah,
maybe
Kevin Dunn.
Triple H might have seen it. William Regal has maybe seen it. You know what I mean? That kind of. But when you get up in the higher ups, maybe some of these people have just not fucking seen these things to be able to relate and know that, like, I don't know. I thought by Hell in a Cell that it would be the Club Gallows and Anderson and Enzo and Cass, but I thought they would be in the title picture. So
I honestly thought at this point in time, especially by SummerSlam, that they would have had the tag titles for Enzo and Cass. Mm-hmm. That they would have been the new tag champs.
Yep.
So for them to be this down, for them to be this down, on the totem pole, is just disgusting. Especially when you saw the reaction they got, the week that Goldberg came back, and even last week in Minneapolis, the crowd, absolutely eats them up. They love Enzo and Cass. And it's not just like they're only excited for the intro, because besides the intro, they're huge on their matches. They stay cheering the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
They work great as a team. I think this match will be entertaining. It'll be a good match, but I picture the Club winning here.
They need it very badly.
Yeah, I'd say I'm going with the Club too. They've had 2 losses. I mean, if you want to go with that method of like how we like to bitch sometimes about 50-50 booking, then I can see them. I can see them giving it to the club. I mean, does it mean anything? No.
No, it
But
really doesn't.
but I mean, we'll see where this goes. I mean, I guess I'm seeing. I would, and that's how WWE is. I would like to say that they would be in the tag team Survivor Series thing that they're doing, but I don't even know. You know what I mean, you might see somebody weird get thrown in there just to make it kind of off. You know, set it off. You know what I mean, you think that the New Day would be in it, and so would the club, and so would Enzo and Cass, but you could always, I can see WWE throwing in a Golden Truth in there just to, just to have them in there. So
exactly.
So who you going with, Mike? You going with the club too then, or Gallows and Anderson?
Yeah. Going with the club.
All right, so we're 3 for 3 there too. Just so you know as well, I did see here from WWE they tweeted out the fact that Cedric Alexander's team versus Tony Nese's team will be on the pre-show. So the Cruiserweight 6-man tag will be on the pre-show. So I'm definitely saying that Rusev and Roman Reigns is going to open up the night for the Hell in a Cell match to start. Especially since there's 3 Hell in a Cell matches, I think they're going to want to separate them, beginning, middle, and end. So
it's going to be a crappy start.
Yeah. Next match we have Bayley versus Dana Brooke, not in an arm wrestling competition either.
Oh,
thank God.
That was a bit ridiculous. I mean, you can definitely tell that when Dana Brooke went over Bayley, it was not the intended outcome. It was an accident, strictly because she was injured. And we knew that night that something wasn't right, the way the match ended so abruptly. And she wasn't cleared to wrestle last Monday. So the whole, arm wrestling into the Bayley to belly, moment was very, very, very lackluster. It was almost slightly embarrassing, too, the way it was handled.
Yeah.
Honestly, Dana Brooke's not even in Bayley's zip code. She shouldn't even be in the ring with her.
Well, I know they're doing it just to get Bayley and her out there, but she shouldn't be part of that thing with Bayley. What they did this past Monday was dumb, unentertaining, uncreative, and
it reeks of Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, it was very lackluster. If it just like you said, it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
but I would have to go with Bayley on this one. If they gave it to Dana Brooke, then I wouldn't know what to do with myself. That'd probably be the one that would break the straw on the camel's back, man. You know what I mean? It's one of those matches that gets up there when you start seeing, like, as much as it's like a I call it a Santino Morello moment. You know what I mean? He's out there and he's the final 2, or he's in the chamber and he's one of the last people in there, but and they throw that as a goof, but everyone's sitting there going, we're not that stupid. He's not gonna win the championship tonight. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel like that is. Like, I think people going in, we're not dumb. We know that Bayley's gonna win this one. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's up next there, Jake? Is it the CWC or the Cruiserweight Championship?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We got TJ Perkins, the Cruiserweight Champion, taking on the Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight title. Finally, for the Cruiserweight title, even though it was announced, how long ago?
Yeah. TJ Perkins, the new Mega Man.
I was really excited about this, guys, at first, about, I don't know, a few weeks back, but then it just seems like it's now starting to get a little bit watered down. Brian Kendrick he's crying and and all this other bullshit, and to me, I'm not as much invested in it. Now he wants TJ to basically do the cruiserweight finger poke of doom and just lay down, and I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know where they're going with this. I know maybe they're probably going to go down the alley of Brian saying, "Oh, hey, I lost on purpose." If they're smart, I would be like, I lost on purpose to give you that illusion that I couldn't do it, but I can do it, and then I beat you, and haha, or something.
I mean, even
that
is so just far fetched and
yeah,
it just spells
said the key
disaster.
word if they were smart.
I thought we were going to see a lot more of Brian's great promos that we saw when he first came in. I thought we were going to see a little bit more on that side. Like, yeah, you beat me, but I'm going to start getting in your head a little bit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
that's what I was expecting too, and that's the sad part here is that everything they've had as far as developing the story for this feud has been relegated to 2 minute backstage segments. There's been
Yep.
nothing in front of the fans. There's been no real
Nope.
like tension in matches. We've seen TJ commentate during Bryan's matches, but they haven't been in each other's faces really, except for the minor backstage locker room segments. And even then, those have been fairly quick, and you've had Kendrick having backup in the form of other,
Exactly.
cruiserweight wrestlers, and it was just, I don't know, it's just a
No,
very
but it's
disappointing buildup.
you need it.
Really, they went with the role of I was your mentor, now I'm the champion. Now you're the champion, even though I trained you and took you to practice, and so
you rode with
it's like a
me.
bad version of the Karate Kid.
Yeah, you rode with me in the van, and we both got paid in hot dogs, and we were both homeless. It's like, I mean, I get it, but it's just like, man, come on. Like, I see so much. I see a lot of talent, and I don't know if it's just maybe because Vince don't see that. Maybe, and maybe if you look at his past track record, I think a lot of people that got that break that were cruiserweights, it was because of I think of some good persuasion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think that he would have. I think that he knew what Rey Mysterio, who he was and stuff, but I don't think that he thought, oh man, if I had a choice between Ray and Batista, I'm picking Batista. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like maybe he's just not into it as much, and maybe that's what's kind of dragging this down. I mean, they're dragging down the cruiserweights on Raw. I even threw out to somebody. I said, give them a whole hour. Give Raw a whole, or give the cruiserweights a whole hour, and
Yep.
have them go out there and do. I mean, you got the time to do it. Fuck. If
They'll
two
never
hours,
do
if
that.
SmackDown can do 2 hours and push their more of the mid card and the women and the the title and Ellsworth, what the fuck? Then they can definitely do this on Raw. And I mean, we'll see. I'm going with Kendrick on this one. I think that he's gonna, because he's showing this side. I think that they're gonna try to pull some type of swerve or something where he cheats again to win, or he's gonna do something like that because he's acting
Bye.
too much like a crybaby. So I think that he's gonna come out of this as like the jokester, like, aha, I tricked you. I had this is in my, you know what I mean, I tricked you before in the past to get here before you, and now I tricked you again, or something like that. What do you think about that, Jake?
I see where you're coming from, but I honestly just see Perkins going over and this feud sizzling out. I don't see them continuing with this past Hell in a Cell night. Typically, Hell in a Cell has been used, even if they're not in the actual Cell match. They use this pay-per-view to end feuds and start new ones, especially leading into some Survivor Series. I'm hoping that they'll each move on, but I think taking the match as it's been built up so far, having Kendrick go, win, become the champion, and then go into the rematch again, I just don't see it being as beneficial and best for business at this point. Maybe at a later date, this is something they can revisit, but as of right now, I don't think the fans are really gravitating towards what they've been given. So hopefully, I believe anyways, hopefully that TJ will retain and they'll both move on to better things.
What do you think, Mike? Who you pick? Who you got?
Really quick for my guesses, I think hopefully if he doesn't win, that it'll lead to a CW, Cruiserweight Survivor Series 5-on-5, and then even that could be somewhat decent if done right with Team Kendrick versus Team TJ.
Now you don't think
But
that'd be like,
Yeah.
you don't think that'd be well, no, I guess because of the old school style, maybe not to some of the casuals anymore, but maybe the old school style will still remember that we did originally used to have that many Survivor Series matches. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you know what I mean, to remember that stuff, because I know a lot of people go, well, shouldn't there only be a couple of them? I'm just like, that's what you should be saying about Hell in a Cell. You shouldn't be saying that about Survivor Series. There's supposed to be 4 or 5 Survivor Series matches. That's how they started
Yeah.
that. Hell in a Cell, there's only supposed to be one.
yeah, exactly.
With weeks of build.
So who'd you say you're going with, Mike, on this one?
I'm gonna go with Perkins. I think he's gonna keep the belt.
Perkins,
Yeah.
Mega Man. I mean, TJP. I'm trying to be hip. I'm trying to be hip, everybody. Come up with these names and these nicknames and stuff, and be a real Mark boy. Or no,
Yeah.
what was it called? A real young boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. The whole time I'm like, what the hell is Jericho and TJ talking about? Young boy. But and then halfway through they're like, oh yeah, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, to do that 30 minutes in, 30 minutes in. I'm like, what the fuck is a young boy? And then see someone that don't know that side of wrestling. I didn't know that. Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I know I just kind of got off the key on that one, but it
No,
popped
but
in my
that's
head.
exactly true.
It's just about anything. I'm just like when someone can't take the time out to someone that's not like a football fan or a wrestling fan that don't take the time out to like tell somebody what it is, and then they're just like, I don't understand why they don't watch it with me. I'm like, because you gotta explain to these people what it is. You can't just say, well, I don't understand why my girlfriend don't like football. I'm like, it's because all you tell her is you cheer for the guys in the blue. I'm like, and that's all you tell them, and then they end up hating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, just going off the cuffs. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
it works.
Oh, going off the cuffs.
All right.
Sorry,
So
Mike.
next up,
I had to be real quiet for a second just so I could hear. I'm like, what's he saying?
I had to listen in
Just
too.
start whispering too. Hey, yeah,
Hey,
yeah. What's up?
want some
Candy,
candy?
yeah, candy. Halloween? Are we talking about Halloween and candy and dressing up? All right,
Heck yeah.
back to the match.
Next up,
All
we
right.
got Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship inside the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Another one I'm not too enthused about. So,
I'm looking forward to this match more than I think any other match on the card, just because I'm intrigued to see what Jericho will do. I don't think Triple H is going to show up whatsoever. I
nah.
think they're waiting for him to be on Survivor Series.
Yeah,
I
that's
said
what I
this
was thinking
previously because a lot of people say, "Oh, Triple H will be there." I said, "No, he's not going to show up." And I said this right
No.
after Owens won. People said, "Oh, he'll be there next week." I said, "No, he won't show up again until Survivor Series because that's when they're going to have Goldberg take on Lesnar. They're trying to
Yep.
build that as a must-see, pay-per-view,
Yep. Yep.
increase the buy rate. So they'll have Hunter either advertised beforehand or, I don't think he'll be in the match, but they'll definitely have him on there because he's another big name draw too.
Well, I
So,
will agree with some people and say that yes, they should have
oh,
mentioned
they
the
should have had him
triple
on there.
they should at least had some type of interaction between Triple H and him, even if it was a pull
Mm-hmm.
apart or I stare at you from here or something like that, like or at least
Yeah,
try
it
to
absolutely
address it. I
should have been
mean,
involved. Absolutely.
but I mean, as far as the match, I mean, do you see this being like a match that like I can see with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, I can see them definitely using the cage and using their surroundings and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
but
think
it's
it's going to be a brutal match. I don't think that they're going to go off the cell or through it. I don't think they're going to do anything too high risk or spectacular. But this is where I pictured tables, ladders, chairs, things of that nature. Anything they can find under the ring, weapons of that sort. I think all that's going to come into play. And I don't see either one of them being bladed,
I
or
was gonna
bleeding
say
hard
no
way.
blood in this one
No
also.
blood in this one either. But I think it's going to be a good match. I see Kevin Owens retaining, but I see him winning by some nefarious means, some heel tactic in the
Yeah.
sense of Jericho intervene. Original rumors stated that Jericho would be gone after Hell in a Cell since he already had tour dates lined up for Fozzy.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So I'm not sure exactly where they'll go from here, which is kind of perplexing as to why he would get involved anyways. But I don't see Seth having the chance to get his comeuppance yet. They're going to string him along a little bit longer. They're currently using him like a Authority v Daniel Bryan scenario. So I think that
Yeah.
Kevin Owens will retain. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think Kevin Owens gonna retain. Like I said, I don't see Triple H running interference or anything like that. Won't be any kind
Are
of
you
swerve
mental?
either, so.
yeah. I think I'm also gonna probably go with Kevin Owens. I don't see them taking the title off of him right just yet,
Nah.
but I mean, but anything's possible. I mean, do they get it off of him to do something with Triple H in the future? Or I don't think that they would do that. But like Jake said, Jericho's not gonna. I wouldn't see Jericho coming out and being a part of it because he's not gonna be there. But you never know. He could come out and try to get in somehow or whatever.
I think he'll be a part of the match. I think he'll interfere or distract. He'll do something to keep the belt on Kevin. But as far as him moving forward, maybe him and Owens have a fight on Raw tomorrow or Monday night in Hartford, excuse me. And that's where that ends.
Yeah, and what's something else I was going to bring up about that match? Oh, it's not that match. Never mind. It's the next. It's the next one. I was sitting there thinking. I was like, I don't know if I want to jump straight to that yet. But I won't. Fuck it.
All right.
Sorry, everybody.
So who do you think is going to win that match, Chris?
I'm going with Kevin Owens.
You're going Kevin Owens. All right. So that's 3 for Kevin Owens.
3 for KO. You, sir, are not on the list.
We haven't made the list yet. All right, next up we have Cesaro and Sheamus, the oddest pairing we've seen in a long time, versus the New Day.
Maybe since Jericho and Big Show.
I even said with Kane and Daniel Bryan, that's what they're trying to replicate at this point. They're trying to make them the new Team Hell No. Yeah. And they don't have the chemistry or the mic skills or the star power, in my book, to come anywhere close to what we saw with Kane and Bryan. I mean, the backstage segments were hilarious most often with Dr. what was his name, Shelby, anger management. Their in-ring presence was phenomenal. I am the tag team champions. I know when we went, awesome. My daughter and I, we took her for her birthday when they had the tag titles. That's when AJ was getting involved, kissing everybody, things like that was going on. And the whole chemistry they had was fantastic. As were these two, it's not the typical unlikely allies forced to work together for a greater good. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense at this point. They're not both faces. They were now, or both heels that are now. It just, you got a face, you got a heel. And they had a best of 7 series, technically 9 matches with house shows that Cesaro won. You had a very wonky, just sloppy ending to their SummerSlam bout. And then we get this, and it's like, all right, well, I guess that's it. Now they're...
And then being put together shows Mick Foley clearly has no clue what he's doing as a GM.
Well, yeah, him and whatever higher powers work together to make that decision. But yeah, it's definitely perplexing to say the least. But I'm tired of the New Day. They've been 430 days, I believe now, 435, something like that. They've been the tag champs.
Yeah. Demolition's record was 478.
It's like that, seriously.
They're gonna break the record just to stick it to Demolition.
I think you might be right, but I'm gonna think. Nah, I'm not gonna think logically on this one. I just don't want to see them as tag champs anymore, and I'm kind of curious how Cesaro and Sheamus would be as champions together if they would do that whole, I'm the tag team champions. I'm the one that has both belts kind of angle, as they keep interrupting each other's, entrances and things like that. Are they going to continually try and one-up each other? So
posting on Facebook Live during his matches.
Yeah. And Cesaro doing his whole thing, with social media. It's okay. So I think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to take the upper hand here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna die and lose my voice.
About to say, don't you die on me.
Don't you die on me, man. Don't you die on me, please.
Please.
But I'm gonna have to agree. Like, I think as much as I don't want to see it, I don't want the New Day as champions. I don't really want Sheamus and Cesaro as champions. I mean, I don't really want that either. So. But
so what you saying?
Yeah, between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that I guess I'm going with Cesaro and Sheamus. Like, as much as I don't want to, but I kind of have that feeling, like you said, they're gonna do. I don't think that. I think that they would have finished out the best of kind of and had one real winner and then have them go. That's what they should have done. Had some real winner of that go up against the U.S. the winner of the Hell in a Cell match or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what I would
really.
have done, and then put them. You know what I mean? Have Enzo and Cass beat them, and then have the club come in and do exactly what they did 2 weeks ago. Come in and destroy Enzo and Cass, and then go from there. So, I'm definitely going with.
Who
I'm
would have
definitely
thought?
going with him.
Logical booking. Something WWE clearly does not
Yeah, exactly. The betting odds so far says that there's a where is it? I just had it on here. That Cesaro and Sheamus both have the upper hand. The over/under is plus 210 to below 135. So I definitely think we're gonna see a switch. I mean, all the fans agree. It's just, I think it's about time.
Yeah.
And they're starting to get a little stale. I mean, I love the New Day.
I think they've been stale for a
They have a lot
while.
of stuff
Yeah,
going
they
on.
have for a while, man.
I know they're over with the younger audience, and that's their target demographic. You know, the cereal, the shirts, the horns, the unicorns. Yeah, all the casuals, the young kids. They're a friendlier version, of what Cena tries to be now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the little double entendres that they do every now and again, and the adult humor that they throw in there is just to keep everybody happy. But to me, they've worn out their welcome. So I'm hoping for a title change, and I think we've all agreed on this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We've gone a little less logical and a little more faithful, hoping to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not just trying to lay it all out there that this might actually be a decent show.
Yeah. Now, main event time. If this happens to be a main event of the night, I think it'll definitely be a step in a new direction for sure. Definitely see a new era to have women not only who have previously headlined a Raw. That was a big thing. We always talk about Trish and Lita. They headlined a Raw. Well, we haven't seen a women's match headline a pay-per-view.
Nope.
Excluding NXT, of course, but I don't want anybody cracking down on me. What about NXT, Jake? Yeah, no shit, but on the main roster. So we're in Boston for Hell in a Cell. That's Sasha's hometown. The atmosphere is going to be
on the
just
highest. Yep.
Explosively electric.
I'm surprised Joe's not going to be there.
It's a Raw pay-per-view. The seats are expensive. Unless he gets some sort of deal tomorrow and ends up going, I don't think he'll be going. I was going to go Monday night with my daughter to Raw, and then it's Halloween. We're like, it's going to be a Halloween show. Any holiday show, they usually phone those in. And she's only going to be trick-or-treating for, another couple years. So I'm like, all right, let's go to that instead. We'll go get some candy. But, so we got Sasha Banks, the current Raw Women's Champion, versus Charlotte inside Hell in a Cell. Just saying that still sounds bizarre. You don't think a women Hell in a Cell and title match to main event the night. So you got three things there: women's title, main event, and Hell in a Cell. Yeah, so it has a recipe for success. There's a lot of clues all over the place that say this could be amazing. The build up to it has not been fantastic. Mick Foley trying to, as Joe had said, explain the match as this living, breathing entity that'll consume your career versus, how it actually is a bit
Why
odd.
Didn't he say this 5 weeks ago?
Exactly. You could have laid it out and then said, I figured they were going to go with the angle of like, no, don't do the match, not warning them what could happen. Mm-hmm. But it is a refreshing change to see them both given the opportunity. We've seen what they can do in NXT, and we certainly know that they have the ability to steal the show. I'm hoping that I'm proved wrong, and this is not only a match of the night, obviously, but match of the year candidate. Yeah. I'm thinking, as speculated so far heavily by a lot of people, a lot of insiders have said that Charlotte was discussing trying to do the moonsault off the top of the cell. Other people have said that blood will be involved. So for there to be blood in a women's match and it's not somebody's time of the month, that's amazing. We've got a lot of big possibilities here, and I still think that Sasha's going to retain. I don't see Charlotte winning, even though betting odds for Vegas and a lot of people online think that Charlotte's going to win her title back. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to see Sasha retain.
Again this quick either.
Yeah, and I want to see this match be brutal, calculated, devastating. I want to see a war. I don't want to see a match. I want to see a total battle.
No, but will it be a classic like legs? Undertaker,
back and
Mick
forth,
Foley, King of the Ring '98? Probably.
Nothing will ever live up to that. I mean,
yeah. So
they've tried to replicate that over and over, and nothing will ever capture the magic that match had.
No.
But doesn't mean they can. I hope they don't try and do what they did at Undertaker and Mick Foley's match. I hope they find new ways to use the cell and utilize the gigantic structure
and do it in a way that does not kill themselves. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, that's what I was going to say. We'll be able to find out early on whether or not anybody can go off if they use the 16-foot cell versus the 20-foot cell.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, when Shane did it last year, it was an impressive leap. And it was crazy, but he also leaped. Yeah, he used the larger cell, but he also leapt down onto a table that had airbags underneath it, which I didn't see until I went back and watched it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a great moment, but everything that entire 20-25 minute match all culminated in that one spot. Yeah. And it was an excellent spot to see. It was breathtaking. It was marvelous, but that was it. That was pretty much the only notable point. I mean, do you remember anything else from that entire match? There was nothing else in that match that's worth remembering. So I'm really hoping that that's not how tomorrow night is. I'm really, really praying to the wrestling gods that they go ahead and they have more than just one build, planned spot. I don't want to see it all, trying hyped up and build to her doing the moonsault off the top of the cage. I hope we have a bunch of little things. If they want to do something crazy and daring, great, more power to them. But I want to see the match be more than just a spot fest too. I want to see a story, and I want to see a war.
Yeah.
Honestly, Hell in a Cell shouldn't even have been a pay-per-view this year. Halloween Havoc should have replaced it.
Especially with it being, the day before Halloween, it would have fit.
Exactly.
And they could have just had this be the only Hell in a Cell match, and it would have made it even more special. Exactly. Have the women's match be the only Hell in a Cell match. Because essentially, if you look at all the feuds on the card, Rusev doesn't need a Hell in a Cell. Kevin Owens and Seth doesn't require a Hell in a Cell. But this one, they've been going back and forth with each other for so long now, and it's had such a build-up. Since WrestleMania this past year with the triple threat with Becky,
Yep.
It's got well over an entire 14 months of just on the main roster of them, hating each other and the titles going back and forth. This one needs to end the feud. So hopefully that's what we see here. I want to see Sasha win in a fantastic deciding fashion. Have this be a great battle. I had a premonition that this would be a war.
Yeah. Jake, you talking about match of the year candidates?
I hope so. I don't know if it'll qualify.
In my opinion, there has not been a better match this year than Nakamura and Sami Zayn at NXT TakeOver Dallas.
Oh, I know. Hearing the crowd chant "Fight Forever," I've never heard that chant before. That says it all.
Exactly.
I know this won't live up to that, but hopefully they can certainly try.
Yeah, they can try, but I don't see it happening.
Who do you think's going to win, Chris?
I think I'm gonna go with Sasha. I think she's gonna win, hometown and everything. But one thing, real quick, just so people know.
You know what really chaps my ass though
is that we do support women's wrestling. So anybody that wants to get down on people for saying that we're not as excited about this than we should be, and I know it's a first time in history and stuff like that. It's not that. It's just the fact that we know what that cell has done before. You know what I mean? It's just same thing.
Exactly.
It's like record books and it's fucking history books and everything like that. We already know and we've seen it before, and it's just hard for anybody, women or not. Like, just it's hard for them to top that. You know what I mean? Like, they have, Rusev and Roman have no fucking build, but they have no shot. They're at least they're gonna try to go out there and do something with it, even though they might think, well, hey, this is not as great as we think it is. They're gonna still come up with something. Yep. I just think with the women, I think that that's all I've heard is it's all about that maybe these women are just like just because it's a new thing, they want to go out there. I heard about her doing like a moonsault off the top of the cage and stuff. I think a lot of that stuff's not necessary. Like, it's so crazy how something as crazy as that will be vetoed, but it's something that's like, oh, hey, let's send your arm into the cage, and all of a sudden your arms cut up, your elbows cut open a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like something as
And
simple as little as
WWE
that. They're not going to do that, but like that can make as us as fans go, oh shit, they're in Hell in a Cell. That's what happens when you're in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
And
exactly.
WWE is still promoting Susan G. Komen.
I know.
Come on!
That's one of the main factors that the women were brought into this, I think.
Real quick before
definitely,
I let
adds to
you,
it.
I have to say this to you now, Jake and Mike. I can't wait till
Yeah.
you guys go back through and watch this show again, because I've been like not mad doing mad clips during it, but any ones that fit, I've been trying to put some in there just to see what it would sound like.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it all.
I know, because I'm sitting there going, I was
me
like,
too.
man, they can't hear it, but I think that afterwards they'll be like, no wonder he kind of paused like that for a second. Why did he, like, I get it now, that motherfucker, you know what
Oh,
I
I
mean?
can't.
I
Now I'm
couldn't
even more
possibly
excited to go
accept-
back and check this out.
Not after
Oh,
all.
it definitely. If it's got the sound clips with it, hell yeah.
Yeah, some
it's
of
gonna be
them are
great.
just stupid, like, but some of them are
Yeah.
also just so funny. Like we were talking about Halloween show, and we throw up, zombie things on there. It was just so funny. Like all of a sudden, like there was one on there that was like called like "Shut Up," and every time I pushed it, I'd be like, I'd push it right after I say something that's obviously so stupid. And like I was so excited to see Roman at Hell in a Cell. Like Roman's my favorite
Yep.
wrestler. And
Oh God, yeah.
he's the number one. I mean, he should be the number one person in the company and shit. And then behind it, like I just have a guy screaming, "Shut up!" That's why I love the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show where they have that clip. That always cracks me up every time because you hear Jim like pause for a second. You can just tell that he's getting his fingers over there to go over there and push that button. And it's like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!" That shit cracks me up, man. I don't know, man. So, what do you guys think overall about this? I mean, it's gonna be long. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long show. I think the women's match has a potential to be something great, but hopefully,
Will it?
Yeah.
Isn't that sad that we have to say, like, especially since the wrestling business has changed, that we have to say like, oh hey, I
we
hope
like
it
women's
is.
wrestling. We enjoy it. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's not just that. It's just that we have to say, well, I hope this show's going to be great, rather than back in the day
that
when
too.
we absolutely like we knew like, hey, we can't miss this. If we miss this,
Yeah.
then we're going to fall behind, and yeah, like there's no way, we have to be on top of this shit. Now we're just like, well,
The
we watch it
days,
because we
the days
have to.
before
or-
TiVo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It cracks me up though. I'm just like, man, I remember being so excited, and then people, I mean, I always hear, well, you're like, and we all hear it. It's not just JD, and it's not just fucking Joe. We all hear it. Oh, the internet fans are too negative. We're too this. We're too that. It's just like, man, it's just so hard. You have the network, and you spend. I always tell people, I'm like, what gets me excited for the pay-per-views? I do the countdown shits. You know what I mean? I do the countdown,
Yep.
and I do the Hell in a Cell matches. I look up every single Hell in a Cell match that I can think of that was really great, and I watch those to get me ready. You know what I mean? And when I watch those, and then I sit there and go, oh, I can't wait for Sunday because, we're gonna have 3 of them. One of them's the first ever women's match. Like, you sit there, you say it out loud, and you go, man, this should be amazing, but it's just not. You know what I mean? Because of the storytelling, because of the creative, and also because of, like, just the, I mean, like I said earlier, you could tell these people actually want to go out there and do that. Like, same thing with Roman. When I see Roman, I see a guy that wants to break out as his own person, and a guy, I mean, once he does, we'll all stop giving him that as much shit. We will, because we'll be like, oh, that's
Absolutely.
really him. You know what I mean? He fits that character great.
When he
He's
finally
not-
goes full heel, everybody will quit giving him
Well, it's
shit.
not even about going full heel, just opening up more, getting past the succotashes and all that other shit to just be able to come out and say, hey guys, this is the real me. Because he started to, like, I thought that when he was doing this stuff with Bray Wyatt was talking about his daughter, and oh hey, you sing, I for real thought, I was like, oh my god, they're probably gonna, you know what I mean, they're
Kidnap her, and
and
and they had
do
a chance to
something.
make it very dark.
To make it a little dark and have, you know what I mean, because anyone can relate with some creepy guy doing that, you know what I mean, like,
Exactly.
I don't know.
Would have
So
been
like,
fantastic. I mean, so many missed opportunities that we talk about over on the Cronin Show all the time, and that's my biggest gripe. That's why I came with the hashtag WWE Logic. You know, they have things built to
which I
them on a
love that.
silver
Every time I hear
platter.
that, I'm like,
They have things, delivered to them on a silver platter that they could use, and then they don't go with it. Like right now, we saw Curtis Axel lose the other day after this great hometown welcome and
amazing
this incredible
promo. Yeah.
promo that he gave. Such a
Yep.
heartfelt speech about him, with this great lineage and how he's going to make
Oh,
this
yeah.
amazing comeback and how he's worth more than what he's been given the chance to do. And he's going to prove to all of us that he's really the next big thing. And then Bo Dallas squashes him in a matter of 2 minutes. Why are
Yeah.
they not on this pay-per-view? Why are they not in a freaking cell match? If we're going to throw 3 cell matches, why not have a 4th and throw them on? I mean, they're not even on the pre-show. And then
No.
here's another thing. Where's Neville? If anybody, I could see Rusev feuding with Neville after this to try and get his win back. And then maybe somebody like Mark Henry. But even that is like, it's almost criminal. Why does Chris Jericho not have a match? Even if he is going to run in for, you can have Neville against Jericho just to have a match on the card. Just like we saw them at the Beast in the East show. That was a great match when Jericho first came back. And also, as you had noted before, Chris, Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn. Why aren't they on the card? That's a noteworthy match. Everyone's tired of seeing Strowman take on, all these local, heroes, quote unquote. These no-name talented wrestlers that are coming from different promotions. Rocky Mountain sent 3 guys previously to get their asses kicked.
Two of them.
Yeah,
2 of them were from Rocky Mountain Pro, and then another one, I guess,
Other one
was
was
just
some
another
new air
local guy.
wrestler.
Yeah, see, so now we finally have a great opponent in Sami Zayn for Braun Strowman, and they're not even on the card. Granted, I'm sure they want to save it for Survivor Series, but why not at least have them, maybe not have a match, but have like a signing for a match or something at the pay-per-view just to have them in the same ring together. Have Sami Zayn do a quick little kick maneuver, and get him a little one-over on the, gigantic Braun Strowman.
Why can't we have Goldberg come out and just spear Braun Strowman into oblivion?
Yeah. Also, I think they should have saved Goldberg coming back for Hell in a Cell. Could have done his quick little, 10-minute promo either at the beginning or before the main event. I think that would have made for it. I understand why they did it when they did it. They wanted to, boost the ratings, but still, I think it would have added to tomorrow night's pay-per-view. I keep thinking it's Sunday.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of chances
That's what I'm saying too. I'm thinking it's like we still have a couple more days till Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
We've been trying to record this all week, but that's my fault. But
kids, stay away from melatonin. Melatonin just messes your world up. When the doctor says, "Hey, instead of helping for pain or anything like that, you should just go out and buy melatonin, and it will let you sleep through everything, and it will also make you sleep through almost the full day." And it makes you feel like such a zombie that when you wake up, you think it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So you make eggs and coffee, and you're looking for the paper, and then you're just like, I'm just I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Oh man, I wish that I could just like there'd be like a Truman fucking a Truman camera to watch because.
The Truman Show.
Yeah, because you'll see me laughing at myself for about 15 minutes, and you'll think I'm a crazy person. You'll be like, "What the fuck why is he laughing?" Like you just show me in a room making eggs, and then laughing once I notice what time it is, and then just
really
laugh for 10, 15 minutes, and people are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?" You know what I mean? Like,
what have you done, Derek? Nothing. You've done nothing.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I'm tired.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Melatonin's the way to go for tomorrow night for sure, though. We can just sleep through
You've
the
done
entire
nothing,
show.
Melatonin. You've done nothing for me.
Free the nipple. All right. Guys, thank you very much for having me. I hope you both call in tomorrow night for our review over on the Joe Cronin Show.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you again for having me
man.
as a guest.
Yeah,
I appreciate it greatly.
You can check out Jake on Mondays. He does the Monday review with Joe on the Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. You can also check him out on Twitter at CountdownEnded. Go show him some love. Like, retweet, comment this video. Hit me up on Twitter also at 420 Wrestling Pod, POD, like the band. And then hit up Mike too at JeterFan35. Show us some love on Twitter. And here soon we got a lot of. I'll have a lot more videos coming up and stuff like that. Some crazy ideas. I have this one weird one where I'm trying to play the Star Spangled Banner on the guitar, but you can obviously tell that it's not plugged in.
Yeah, Hendrix style.
Yeah, I'm nearing.
It's not plugged in, and you can obviously tell that it's playing from something else. So it may be me, or it may be Hendrix. You just have to figure out.
We'll
you
have to find
see
out
if it syncs up, and if it syncs up good, just take my word for it. Okay, you don't know me, but you can take my word for it, people. And I promise not to lie or anything like that. And if I do, then like my grandmother used to say, life goes on, and then you shit your pants. So, but I really appreciate everybody checking this video out. And leave some comments below. See who you guys think that is going to win the Sasha and Charlotte match, and everything else on the card. And I know we're going to be. I want to do an NXT Takeover review here soon, or predictions for that too, because that's the one I'm really excited for. So make sure you guys go watch the last one. Get pumped up about that. Tweet us, and I really appreciate Jake coming on again and Mike coming on also again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
To BS and talk about the Hell in a Cell. That's tomorrow, and it starts at 7, don't it, Jake?
Yes, it does.
It says 7 or 6, or I don't. It just depends on the pre-show.
It'd be 6 my time.
It'd be 6 for the people that live in Arkansas.
Yeah, Central Time Zone.
Living in Arkansas over
Why don't
there.
you go back to your home on Whore Island?
All right, I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed those clips as much as I did the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Can't wait to go back and hear it
fucking
all.
love them. So, all right, see you guys.